Hello, this is Andy. It's been pretty busy the last couple of days. I've had a lot of stuff to do regarding uh, sticks, getting some together. I've got a custom order which I'm in the process of doing at the moment. On top of that, my son had his birthday, so we were dealing with that and taking him out on his drift trike, which was his present. And today I'm up a little bit later than usual. Same routine, chickens, and then I've got to go and see if I can get a few more basic sticks or my raw material. Then I should rack them, and then it'll be moving on to whatever the family wants to do today. This is the custom stick that I was just alluding to. You can see the darker patch there which has had oil soaking into it. Obviously the lighter patch is left because I'm going to be doing my wood burning there. And let me stop it swinging. Obviously the tip's in place, and as you can see I've got oil at the bottom. That will get, after it's burnt, we'll get a complete coat of oil and left to dry. But that's basically what I've got to do to this one today. I've got to get all the artwork on this middle section here and the lettering. So yeah, that's going to be a nice stick when it's finished. That wood's got a nice grain, and it's got a few distinguishing marks before I even do the artwork. So yeah, I've got that to do in a moment. Beginning of the month we cleaned out this bird house. There is a legal requirement you shouldn't really do it late in the year. There are dates that you need to look up, but we were well within our time frame because we did it at the beginning of January. They've been cleaned out, took all the rubbish out. I've put the top on, resealed it, and it's ready to go this year. So we've had success with this one with blue tits, and we're hoping we get some more this year. We've sighted our other two down the bottom of the garden. One on the side of the woodshed here, as you can see, and one around the quieter backside of the shed. Now we're hoping we get some success with these bird boxes this year. There is scratching around there from last year, so that means they were testing the wood and testing it out to go in, but they never did, and I think that was down to building works and sighting them too close to where the young kids were running up and down and making a lot of noise. So now they're in the quieter part of the garden, like the other bird box I showed you we cleaned out. I'm hoping we get success this year. Yeah, this is just a quick little expedition out while I got a bit of time. So it's just basically my saw and bag. I'm tempted to take a flask of coffee, but I don't realistically think I'm going to have time to sit back and enjoy being in the woods this morning. Yeah, just grabbed a selection of sticks and they're going to be making their way out the front now. Yeah, I did say I wasn't actually going to take a flask, but I have done a flask. But first, I've got to feed the wild birds. That's something we've started doing now. It's getting cold. We always used to, but due to avian flu, we knocked it on the head. But my chickens are covered, and on top of that, we're well into January now, so any migrating birds would have already done it. So we're now feeding the wild birds due to the weather conditions. That's our feeder up there. I made a guard to go over it to stop the magpies and crows getting at it, or at least stop them, shall we say, having a easy time getting at it. I actually have to place a ladder and climb up this ladder and a tree to retrieve that bird feeder. Yeah, you can see it's a hanging basket that I've upended and put the feeder inside. It does stop the bigger birds getting at it, but they do work their way around it, but because it's all, shall we say, swinging and mobile when they're on it, it becomes increasingly difficult for them. So even though they do get at it, it's not, shall we say, a free-for-all where they rob the feeder totally blind so the smaller birds can't get anything. Right, that's fully loaded. That'll do probably 2 days. And as you can see from the ladder, I climb up, grab hold of a branch, reach over, grab it, get it, or re-put it back in its place. Not the easiest thing to get to, but with the kids it stops them, shall we say, wrecking it. Yeah, I've managed to collect 3 pieces here, and they're not looking too bad. Not the best quality ones I've picked so far this year, but they obviously will be turned into something that will be a treasured item. But I'm here scanning around, always on the hunt, and I'm going to make my way further up through this little, shall we say, embankment beside a river, which you may be able to hear in the actual video. So yeah, I'm going to push on through and have another little look. One thing I will say, because I'm on foot and in these sort of locations, between 6 or 8 pieces is usually the most I carry. That might make me sound a little bit of a wimp, but it does become heavy when you're pushing through, shall we say, some pretty overgrown uphill, downhill, marshy conditions and slippery leaf litter. So about 6 to 8 pieces is the most I extract at any one time. One thing I will say, I will leave these in this location as a bit of a cache, and I will make my way back to them. And like I said, I'll go and search out some more items, shall I say, now. There's a hole in the base of this tree, and I'm not quite sure if it's rabbit. I can't see any rabbit droppings, which usually you can find around the base of the hole. But what I can find is lots of nut casings, and there's indeed some in there, some nut casings in there. So whether this is a cache for a squirrel, or indeed a squirrel is using this as a hideout, I'm not familiar with squirrels actually doing this. It's a bit low to the ground, but they could be using it as a cache. There is, like I say, nut casings that have been broke open around here. You know, yeah, there's definitely casings everywhere, but I don't think it's rabbit. I've got a feeling this could be a cache for a squirrel. Just my humble guess. I've just pulled over because I've just seen a load of snowdrops, and I'm just going to have a little look and check them out. They're the first ones I've seen this year, so that's quite an interesting sign that, shall we say, the spring is, well, here, or just around the corner, so far as nature is concerned. Yeah, it's a nice patch of them just here. Some that won't survive very long down here on the actual road fringe where the hedge comes down. But there is a nice little blanket of them here, and a nice big clump there. That looks very nice. Yeah, I think nature is telling us that it's time for the countryside to wake up now. When farmers have been working their hedges and they've been cutting them back or reconstructing them or working on individual trees, sometimes you get a load of debris left behind. Obviously these here particular sticks are too small for me to do anything, but it just serves as a kind of point that on some of the work they do and some of their leftover sticks and wood that they just leave behind, sometimes there's opportunities for me to grab the odd stick or two from that, shall we say, hedgerow maintenance. Just looking inside my car, this is clear evidence why, as a stick maker, cleaning and tidying your car is pointless till you finish the task in question. I've got leaf litter, ground in mud, dirt, and indeed all manner of forest litter everywhere in the car. You could clean that out, clean it every time you went, but it would be back the second you next ventured out. So yeah, like I've said before, this car's due, when the season for me finishes, a complete deep clean. So for the rest of the year we do actually have a normal car. There's a lot of these in the wood and it looks like laurel to me. I could be wrong, but yeah, because these sort of plants escape from the garden environment, they quickly take over some areas of woodland. Now take a look at that. I have not seen anything like that in the woods or in the forest before. I'm definitely going to have to check that out. That fungus there looks like a flute with an absolute blood, shall we say, poppy red interior with white walls. Absolutely a first for me. Never seen nothing like that in 52 years. So, you know, there's always something to find in the woods, like I keep saying. Well, eat your heart out, Erwin Saunders. If there ever was a location for pixies or piskies, this would be it. Deepest, darkest Cornwall. You tell me you couldn't imagine a pixie or piskie sticking their head out of one of those little crags or crevices in those rocks? This is the perfect location for them. Deepest, darkest Cornwall. Right, I'm at home. I've got everything racked. The pieces that I collected, they're all marked, and that's now drying now for next year. Now, as I've alluded to, I cut those sticks, and then I drove on to another location and had a little scout around in the woods. And this has become a little bit of a theme of what I do. Like I say, while I'm out, just to have a little look-see. So yeah, so I went to a new location after those sticks, and there I had a little walk around, and that's where I found that little bit of red fungus on those flutes. I've never seen that before, and I'm quite keen to look on the internet and have a look and see what it is. And then I alluded to Erwin Saunders, didn't I, about possible pixies and piskies. Well, it doesn't take much imagination, does it, when you're in a should we say, off-beaten location, should we say, that isn't trodden much, and it's still got that wild feel and look about it. You can imagine a little head or a little body poking out of a rock crevice or from behind a tree, from the pixies and piskies of folklore. Now, like I said, it doesn't take much imagination, and you can easily let that run away with you while you're in these sort of places. So yeah, it's always thought-provoking, thinking about folklore and the people, the creatures and everything like that from ancient folklore. But on saying that, I'm just going to grab a piece of cake and a coffee that the missus has got going now, and I'll sign in again at some point. Cheers, it's Andy from Folklore Hiking Sticks.